Ladies and gentlemen, it's finally time to pick up the potatoes and see if the root stout method worked and how much we've got for the winter. I'm so excited, I've been waiting for this for months, so let's get to it. This is the potato patch at the moment. Some people say they should leave it to dry a little bit longer, but I saw that everybody around here already removed their potatoes, and quite a few have dried out on the sides, and I'm afraid that I won't remember where those potatoes are. So I just thought I'm gonna take them all off today. And if you remember from the video where I planted those potatoes, I used the root stout method. So I just cut the grass, put the potatoes, the seed potatoes down, and then I covered them with a layer of about this much, 30 centimeters of mulch. So I will put the videos down below if you haven't seen that one. But that is a very low effort method, so I'm really excited to see if it worked. Halfway in and I already filled up the first basket, so I went on and got another one, and let's see if we can fill that one as well. To weigh up the potatoes and see how much we've got. Hip. Oh wow, it says we have about 11 kilos and a half of potatoes, and I think in here there's about half a kilo of sweet potatoes for next year, so we have about 11 kilos of eatable potatoes. This is amazing. I am speechless. I am so happy with the result. As you can see, many of them are fairly small size, but then we had a few bigger ones as well, which I was so pleased with. And I just wasn't expecting to have this much. This is the first time that I ever tried growing potatoes, and especially with this method that is a little bit non-conventional. I didn't know how it would come out. This is a super low effort method. As I said, there's no digging. The only difficult thing was to find the hay, but now I have a reliable supplier, so next year is gonna be easier. And you also have to consider that this year in Italy we had a super extra dry summer, and I think it was the case in most of Europe. We had very long periods without rain, and I never once watered the potato, not once in 6 months. And so I think that the results, considering that, are pretty amazing, and I can't wait to do it next year. I think I'm gonna do a bigger patch, and I'm gonna distance less the potatoes because I saw that we didn't need that much space. And another thing that I was really pleased was to see how many earthworms were under the mulch. So as the mulch is decomposing, it's creating like you know, it's enriching the soil, and I saw so many insects, and they seem to like it, because obviously soil health is super important if you want to grow stuff for a long time and without using any chemicals or additives, so that's super good. And I can't wait to try them. I'm gonna roast them. I think those are organic, super ultra local, and grown with love potatoes, so I'm gonna cherish every bite of them. I have a dormouse issue in my house since last year. Those are protected animals, they are wild animals, they are absolutely stinking cute, but they do a lot of damage. They eat everything up, the wood, the insulation. I've been finding pieces of insulation everywhere around the house because they chew them up, and they're super loud as well. At night you can hear them going from side to side of the house. It sounds like there's a motorway on top. They're so loud. This morning I found for the first time a puppy on the floor on the full sun, and it seemed like he was struggling, so I put like a plastic glove and I moved him like closer to the house and on a shaded area. And I hope that the mom is gonna come out and pick him up. In fact, I'm gonna go inside the house so that she doesn't hear me. So hopefully she feels safe to go and pick him up. He was so cute.
I sat for an hour and thought about the lies I would tell you.
Look at those potatoes. Today I'm gonna be working on a creative project by using origami paper. I hope it's gonna turn out well, but since we are on the topic of creativity, why not give a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with tens of thousands of online classes and members across 150 countries who come together to find inspiration for any stage in their creative journey. I've used Skillshare for the past 3 years and I'm taking all sorts of different classes. Anytime that I'm like, oh, I would love to learn how to dance station dance, or how to properly edit pictures, then I just jump on the platform and find the perfect class. Skillshare can help you scratch the creative itch, but it can also help you in giving you a kick to start your own business or to enhance your current career. The Skillshare catalog is already huge, but also every month they add about 900 new classes. Skillshare believes in learning by doing, so each class has a project that you can then upload and get feedback on it from the teacher and from other students. A class that I keep going back to is Gardening 101, a guide for growing and caring for plants by Geraldine Levine. This class is a must for anyone that's interested in growing plants either indoors or outdoors. It has a really useful chapter on planning your garden depending on how much exposure does it get, the climate and the soil type. And it also teaches you different ways of propagating your plants. You can now take this course for free by clicking in the link in the description box, and you also get unlimited access to an additional tens of thousands of classes for a whole month. So my plan is to make a mobile by using origami butterflies. I saw those on a few places and they just look lovely. So I got myself a embroidery hoop, and then I'm gonna make loads of those little butterflies, and I'm gonna try and build basically a mobile. I've got some transparent wire that I'm gonna attach the, well, you can't see anything because it's transparent, where you can attach the butterflies. I've got some crimp beads just to make them stay in their place, and then I think I'm gonna add just colorful beads between each butterfly just to give it more dimension and color. Okay, so here are the butterflies. I think I have around 25 to 30. So now I'm gonna arrange them by color and see how many strands I want to put on the mobile. Okay, I think this is how it's gonna work. There are 8 strands, and between each strands, like one is gonna be longer and one is gonna be shorter, and the space between is gonna be a little bit wider, and in each of those spaces I'm gonna add a bead so that it's gonna come much longer than what you see now. It works in my head. Let's see if it actually works in practice. So I'm taking about an arm, 2 arms, like 1 arm long of transparent tape, cut it. And I think you could use fishing tape if you don't have this transparent thread, not tape, in the house. If you fish, then you will have this in the house. And then you add a crimp bead at the end of it. And those are, again, beads that I use on my jewelry making. So I had them laying around, but you can order them online for quite cheap. You could just make a knot, but I don't think that the thread would hold the knot because it's plastic, so it's probably a bit slippery. So you crimp the bead, and then with a needle you thread it through the top part of the of the butterfly, hoping that you won't break it. There you go. Okay, that's the first one. Then you need to crimp the top of this one so that it doesn't like move around, and then you can add the bead and then repeat the process. Hope this makes sense. And you have to be very careful with those, because sometimes if you crimp too hard, then you might snap the thread. Okay, then you get your bead, little bead, whoopla, and then you thread it through. Don't know how well you'll be able to see, but I'll also show you a close-up. But basically, you've got a butterfly at the end, then you've got a bead, then you gotta add a butterfly, then you add a bead, etc, etc. The 8 strands are ready to be assembled with the embroidery hoop, and to do that I'm still gonna use the crimp beads. The bulk of the mobile is done, and look at how adorable the butterflies look in the wind. It's just so lovely yet so simple. I just need to find a way to make an attachment now at the top so that I can put it somewhere and find the right spot for it. Isn't that the cutest thing you've ever seen? I love it, and you could make it in so many different ways. You can make it much longer, you can make it on like a stick or larger, you could change the position of the butterflies, use different origamis. It's just such a fun little idea. And I forgot to say that the butterflies that I made for it actually are very easy to make origami even if you don't have any experience making origami. And thanks again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Once again, if you want to learn pretty much anything, then there is the place to go. And yeah, you will find the link in the description bar for getting 1 month free. And yeah, see you very soon. Gonna probably go eat some more potatoes.